all don't have a green thumb.
That's okay, Kelly. I make up for it. And if you're one of the what? And if you're
You
one of
couldn't
those,
even say it out.
That's the funniest thing I've heard for all morning.
I wasn't trying to make jokes, you guys. I just said all my plants are alive and semi-thriving. But Garden Guy Dale K is here, and he's going to help us out with all of our plant issues. And we were just talking, it looks like you've brought quite the science experiment game with you today.
Yeah.
Well, not everybody, as you mentioned, has a green thumb. And there was a survey recently that said most American households, or those surveyed, have about 2 to 6 houseplants per household. So there's a lot of them out there, and there are some kind of myths or some hacks that actually work. So I wanted to focus on the ones that kind of work this morning. So let's start off with watering first. And I'll start over here. There's not a myth, but does watering from the bottom really work? And what I mean from the bottom is you have a little saucer, and instead of watering the soil, you're actually watering, in a dish, and then the plant takes up water from the bottom. It wicks it up with good potting soil and roots that are quite down to the bottom. This actually works. And it works, excuse me, it works really well for plants like African violets that have furry leaves, where sometimes if you're like pouring over the top, that can get caught in the leaves themselves and start to rot. Also, anything can bloom as well. Once you start splashing water around, it does deteriorate the blooms. So watering from the bottom actually works. And for African violets, your little African violets will thrive if you do that. Okay. Also, there's talk about ice cubes. Does that work on top of plants? Quite simply, it does work, and I've seen it used quite successfully. Like if you're going to a trade show, you exhibit at a trade show, maybe you got a plant or two on your table to make it look nice, and water is hard to come by. All of a sudden you're at a 3-day show, and then all of a sudden your plant needs water. Going and grabbing some ice cubes, that works. The only problem with ice cubes is they're chilly by nature, right? But that can be the only problem. But ice cubes will actually, of course, water your plants. The next thing to do with water is
it's a hard-boiled egg.
When like if you're making hard-boiled eggs, or really, actually, if you're cooking veggies like peas or some carrots, or even if they're frozen veggies, don't discard the water. You can actually let that water cool and then use the water. And the great thing about eggs, the egg water is, I'll just take these hard-boiled eggs out. The water itself actually has quite a bit of calcium in it, which is quite good for plants. So it's almost like calcium fortified water. But to be sustainable, don't throw away the water. You can actually reuse it.
You want it to be like lukewarm?
Yeah, you just cool, right? Just like regular, like how you would water your plants. Of course, let it cool. But once you've boiled your eggs, go ahead and use that water. Don't waste it, because it's actually really good water because it's calcium fortified. Also, any cracked eggs that you use, you can actually start seeds in those, or start some little houseplant cuttings. If you crack them right, that little vessel will hold some soil as well. So, and then don't be afraid to use a moisture meter. They actually work. If you struggle with taking or knowing when to water, I'll just take my hand out of the way. There we go. A moisture meter like this actually does a great job of helping you know when to water your plants.
Why do we have mayo here on the table?
We're making egg salad. That is next.
Oh, I do love egg salad.
I do like mayo.
I do love it.
I love me a little bit of egg salad, particularly with like a little chili or a little jalapeno, a little spice on top.
You lost me, Dale.
A little spice.
Anyway, a little kick. But I have a feeling that's not for egg salad.
Not for egg salad, even though you can. But actually, a little bit of mayo and even the banana peel is a natural leaf shine. So, leaf shine will clog pores. Mayo might clog it a little bit. But the banana peel, if you use banana peel as a leaf shine, and even mayo, both of those are actually really good.
Truly, just like
that?
Like
this side or the other side?
Are you for real? Is this?
Yeah, for real.
Oh,
see,
I guess,
turn it over. Is it shinier?
Yeah.
There you go.
It is. I mean, I'd rather do this than the mayo. I think that would be.
So you like put that on a napkin and just rub it on?
Yeah,
or paint it on?
Yeah, just with a cloth, damp cloth, a little bit of mayo.
Okay.
That kind of works. Also, coffee grinds. You can add your coffee grinds to potting soil. You could also just pop them in your compost. And coffee filter papers, oftentimes you get these pots that have that larger hole in the bottom. It's like, okay, when you're potting, the potting soil just kind of leaks out the bottom. Actually, using a coffee filter, even when it's used, you can just kind of lay that over the hole, and then that stops all that potting soil kind of running through the.
Pop it in there.
There you go.
But it
still
won't
gives
create
enough air.
And it'll still allow it to drain.
Okay.
It'll still allow the potting soil to do its thing, but then you won't have that kind of mess when you're repotting of all that soil coming out of the holes. Talking about repotting, you do get what you pay pay for as far as it comes to potting soil, and there are some better potting soils out there. My recommendation is go to your favorite local garden shop and ask them what kind of potting soil they use. Right? So I've got Sungrow there. You'll see that quite readily available. That's a good one. But just go to your favorite local garden shop and ask the employee, ask the plant nerd, what do they use? And whatever they say is probably a good thing. And then when you're repotting, also make sure that you go just one pot size bigger. You don't want to put a little pot into a big a big hole. Back this way, your leftover chopsticks from Chinese or sushi, don't throw them away. They make excellent little plant stakes to kind of help your plant grow. So you can use your chopsticks to kind of tie up your plants as well. And then also rotate your plants. So when, if you've got your house plant against the window, oftentimes they'll kind of bend towards the light or do funky things. So if you just kind of rotate your houseplants a little bit, that will keep them growing healthy. And make sure you remove any dead leaves right away as well.
Sure.
And any dying plant, you can actually start to propagate it. Anything that's good, if it's dying, okay, it's going to die. But if there's anything that's still savable, you can go ahead and propagate it, bring your plants back to new life.
Good stuff. Okay, as always, thank you. Appreciate it. Next time, can you make some egg salad?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know, you're really just...
Not spicy.
It's kind of a bit of a teaser. Just make 2 batches
All
for
right.
everyone.